Hello everybody. Today I will speak a little bit about the Romdisk. Here in the sample code you can see he's loading 3 files from the RD folder. It's the Romdisk folder. It's also possible to load from the CD. That's more logical because generally most games have stored all the data on the CD, and when the program needed, it's loaded from the CD. In this case, the Romdisk is a virtual disk drive stored in the main RAM of the Dreamcast. So the question is, why is it in the main RAM and why are we using it? There are many reasons. One thing is loading from the CD all the time during development is not so good for the aging for the CD-ROM. Another reason is for reading from the CD, there have to be a CD in the Dreamcast. Problem? There is already a CD inside. On this CD is my DC tool, the program that I can communicate with the Dreamcast through my PC. Also, if I want to change some graphics, I all the time have to burn a new CD. That's very uncomfortable. Here I just have to put the file into the Romdisk folder. You can see it here. Also in the tutorial there is a Romdisk folder, and every sound and graphic file I need for the game is inside here. If I want to have a second player, a new player ship, new enemy, whatever, just put it in the Romdisk folder. Next compiling, it's automatically in my file and it's not necessary to burn a new CD. It is possible to use both the broadband adapter and a data disk. In this case, after loading the program into the RAM, I can swap the disk. So the DC tool is not necessary. It's only necessary to upload the code into the Dreamcast. But after this, it's not necessary anymore. And then I can input the data CD. But as long as the starting screen has graphic, I still need the ROM disk because I cannot swap fast enough the disk. So in the end, when a game is finished or nearly finished with programming, I will change all the ROM disk folder to the CD folder that in the final product should load it from the CD. But as long as I'm in development, it's very comfortable for me to store it in the ROM disk. If the game don't have much graphic and sound data, then it's not necessary to store all the data in the CD-ROM folder. But the size of the ROM disk is limited. I'm not sure exactly how big is the size, but I'm sure it's not bigger than 16 megabyte. And the reason is the RAM of the Dreamcast is not bigger than 16 megabyte. And you cannot use the completely 16 megabyte for the ROM disk because you program needs space, the operating system of the Dreamcast needs space, and perhaps some other things also. So the space is very limited. If you just make a mini game with a few levels and 1 or 2 megabyte graphic and a few megabyte sound, then the ROM disk will be enough. But if the game gets bigger and you have more graphic data, you have to change it later to the CD folder. But even if the graphic data during development getting bigger, I still prefer to use ROM disk. I just testing the game level by level. That means if I want to test the first level, I load all the stuff for level 1 in the ROM disk. And if I want to test level 2, I delete everything and put all the stuff for level 2 in the ROM disk. Only at the very end, I change my code that I don't need ROM disk anymore and load everything from the CD. That's all for the ROM disk. Thank you for watching and see you next time.